Hey everyone, so this is Lab 1 walkthrough for Survey of Chem 2. This is Organic Compounds Alkanes Lab. Alright, so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this is what your lab manual should say for the first lab. And this is what you'll be doing for this week, for this week's lab report. Okay, so a video was posted with Dr. Taylor going through the pre-lab discussion on Cougar View, and I made a note here below explaining that. So just a couple things. Dr. Taylor is an organic chemist herself, so she's really good at this stuff, and teaches organic chemistry along with Dr. Holly at Columbus State University. So I let her do that pre-lab discussion. Now, it took a long time to upload. One of the other reasons that I'm late getting this video out, besides the fact that my house has been crazy today. So anyway, I may use her some more for the organic sections of this class. I may not. We'll just see. We'll kind of see how it goes. Y'all let me know what you think. Like I said, she's very detailed, and everything she says there will be useful for the lab that you're going to complete this week. All right, or the first lab whenever you get to it. All right, so I've also included the PowerPoints, and just kind of follow along with her. And yeah, she goes through them herself on her video, so that shouldn't be any problem there. But I wanted y'all to have a copy of it as well. So there is the PowerPoint. You'll see Lab 1 walkthrough will be at the top of this list once I get done with it and post it. So yeah, this is where you'll come to find your lab content, and then usually I'll put a description or something to say, hey, watch the intro, then the pre-lab discussion, then the walkthrough, or something like that. I'll usually give you indication of which videos you have to watch and which videos are supplemental. Sometimes I'll add extra videos in case you didn't get a certain portion. I'll put those other little YouTube videos down at the bottom so you can kind of dive deeper into certain topics. All right. So with that being said, you should watch the pre-lab discussion first. Okay, then go through the walkthrough, because you need to have all this information when I start going through the lab right here. All right, let me minimize that. Okay, what else I need to cover as far as introductory lab stuff? Oh, the assignments. So the assignments are right here in Cougar View under assessments. If you'll click on assignments, and then you see there the safety worksheet, which I've already discussed in the intro, and this will be Lab 1 Alkanes. Okay, and we'll put the due date next Saturday. Has due date July 3rd. Yeah, so that's plenty of time for you to go through and get this done. But it's always available, and you can obviously turn in late. You might lose some credit, 10-20% or so. So like the max you might get if you're a day late is like a 95. If you're 2 days late, it might be a 90, something like that. But at a certain point, I'm not going to dock you the whole thing because it's late. But yeah, don't wait around on it, because you'll let the other ones pile up, and then by the time you get to the end of the course, you're just rushing through and you don't get much of anything right. So anyway, here's where you turn in your assignments. You'll go here, you'll click on alkanes, and then it'll give you an option to upload image or PDF or whatever. Please try to upload everything as a PDF. Okay, I talk about it in the syllabus. There's ways you can turn images into PDFs or whatever. So try to upload it as a PDF. It makes it way easier for me to grade, for me to mark feedback and stuff like that. I'll try to grade all the labs and give you feedback on what you missed so that you have that for the test. So try to turn it in as a PDF if you can. All right, so here's where you find your assignments, and then you'll see the due date is listed over to the right. All right, make sure y'all can still see what I'm seeing. Good. All right. Now, I guess we can get into the actual lab for this week. Now, this week, and something that you'll learn more and more about my kind of courses, Since we're all online, since we're all doing this from our homes for the most part, I believe, um, we have to be more resourceful than usual. So especially when it comes to um, like getting information, I have to trust y'all more to do the work on your own, right? That you're not just emailing other students and trying to get answers. But if you are, I'll find out come test time because everybody has to take their own test. So that being said, you're going to do a lot of research for this lab on your own. Okay, so you'll notice Dr. Taylor was talking about the models and stuff. I do have some models here, uh, but I've tried to teach with them here online, and I spend 5 minutes fumbling with a little molecule. I hold it up to the camera, twirl it around, and it's really not that useful. So what I recommend is using the internet. Okay, if you see a molecule or a compound on here, you can type it in the internet. Let me go back to the internet and show you what I mean. Okay, let's say methane. So I'll type in methane and go to images. Okay, now I have all of those models or representations for methane that I'd be building with my stick models or whatever. You see here, these are all methane molecules. Now you want to double check and make sure, especially when you get into bigger molecules, that you're looking at the right thing. But you'll be able to research all of this on your own essentially and come up with the right answers or get a visualization. In some cases, they want you to kind of visualize what's going on. Um, you should be able to do all that online just like this right here. Okay, so let me go back to the lab manual here. All right, another thing I'll talk about is these introductory portions on in your lab manual. They, for the most part, in this lab I've noticed, explicitly tell you a lot of answers. Okay, like you see here, it goes through a table comparing organic and inorganic compounds, right? And then if I go to my report sheet, I might notice that they ask me to fill out a table where I compare the properties of organic and inorganic compounds. Okay, so go through the introductory material, um, try to understand it, use it when you go through answering questions, revert back to it if you don't understand something or you get lost, because it also walks you through what you should be doing. And it'll do this in every lab. We have a list of procedures here, and it says, you know, observe the samples in the test tube. You don't have any samples in test tubes for this lab. Now, for other labs where you actually need to see something physical, we have videos and pictures and everything, and I'll kind of walk you through those as well. For this one, this is more of an independent research. There's nothing here. I've went through myself and kind of done it. There is nothing here that you can't look up. Okay. For example, it says, where does it say it? Somewhere it says that you actually need internet assistance. I'm trying to find it. For the isomers. It's for the isomers of alkanes. So let me go up here to this. Isomers of alkanes. Materials, display of models, butane, 2-methylpropane, 2,2-dimethylpropane, chemistry handbook, or access to the internet. So that's essentially what we're doing is we're just going to get this information off the internet. But I want you to be able to look up the different models and be able to visualize kind of what these differences are. Now a lot of this will just be, you know, condensed structural formulas. You'll move one carbon to the other to make an isomer, but that's not going to tell you what the boiling point is, what the melting point is, stuff like that. So you'll have to use the internet, kind of look these things up and fill it in as you go. Other things just you ought to learn throughout the course of this class, specifically chapter 11, chapter 11 from the lecture, the pre-lab discussion from Dr. Taylor, and the introductory material here. Okay, they all go over the differences between organic and inorganic compounds, like the ability to combust, a flammable compound. Organics are flammable, typically inorganics are not. Okay, organics all have carbon bonding, right? Mostly hydrogen and carbons. Inorganics have metals or ions mostly. Okay, little differences like that. You are just absorbing the knowledge, learning, and then using it to answer these questions. Okay, um, so solubility, another big indicator of whether or not something is inorganic or organic. If it breaks down in water, that means it's got to be ionic. Y'all remember what ions are? They have a charge, therefore they easily disperse in water. Um, Organic compounds typically don't have a charge and are larger carbon-carbon bonded molecules with no polarity, no charges built up, so they don't break down in water. And that's why oil and water doesn't mix. We have two separate layers, where the denser layer sits below the less dense layer. Okay? So, like I said, all this has been said in the lecture, in the pre-lab discussion, in the introductory material. I'm just kind of illustrating that you have the information that you need to answer these questions. I'm here if you need me. Email me anytime. And I'm going to try to get ahead this weekend so that I have the videos posted in a timely fashion. And then also from here on out, it'll be more physical lab walkthrough stuff. I'll show you videos of Jamie or Dr. Taylor or myself working in the lab doing these experiments, and then you'll have to do more with the videos and the pictures that we provide, as opposed to this week where this is kind of independent research, if you will. You need to go through and learn this, fill out these report sheets. About the report sheets, let me show you that. Do not worry about turning in pre-lab study questions. Okay, they're good practice, and they're also useful when I go to make the exam. I like to pull questions from these pre-labs because they're usually asking specific concept things that you need to know for this lab. Okay, so you'll start your report here where it says report sheet, and you have the date, name, section. So you just put 1152L, my name, and your name. Okay, and then start there. Turn in everything unless you see us tell you to omit something. This week we have no omissions, so you don't have to worry about that. In the future, if I want you to leave something off, I'll put it at the very beginning of the PowerPoint, and I'll also reiterate it when I do the lab walkthrough. Okay, so unless I say otherwise, fill out everything from where it says report sheet all the way down, okay, till you get to the next lab. So I think that's pretty good. There wasn't too much background noise, I hope. That's it for this week. We'll be getting into chapter 12 at the start of next week. This lab is not due till what do we say, the 3rd, July the 3rd. So you have about a solid week. I wouldn't put it off that long though, because you're gonna have other stuff start piling up, right? All right, so that's it. Y'all email me if you have any questions. I'll see y'all next week.